Dear Mayor and Councilors, this letter serves to appeal the Moscow Board of Adjustment's decision to approve a conditional use permit for 112 North Main Street as applied for by New St. Andrews College. In particular, several procedural questions were raised during the CUP review process that bears examination. At the April 25th meeting and the BOA decision, 5 of 7 board members were present, with 3 voting affirmatively to approve the CUP, effectively meeting quorum. As governed by the Moscow City Code, the board may take action without all members of the board present. However, a decision such as this, which represents a significant change to the Central Business District and very well may have far-reaching impacts on future development, is best served by full participation by all members of the board. Statute 3-5D.8 states that, quote, all applications for educational institutions shall be accompanied by detailed written description of plans, including present student enrollment, staff on site, staff development, future enrollment growth, and any phasing thereof, end quote. The conditional use permit submitted by NSA College did not, in fact, and could not include these figures, therefore should not have advanced to the hearing process. The burden of proof falls on New St. Andrews to show that their application should be approved, not on the opponents to show why it should not be permitted. For this reason alone, the decision should be remanded to the board for reconsideration. Several important issues clearly require examination and, importantly, consideration. At the beginning of the meeting, Ryan Cash opened the orientation with a PowerPoint slide that listed 7 fundamental criteria apparently designed by the board to orchestrate foci on critical issues by which to base acceptance or rejection decision. In particular, a majority of persons speaking in support of the CUP did not address these criteria at all, which may have influenced board members' interpretations of the merit of the proposed CUP. The decision to approve the CUP is one with lasting implications for the Moscow community and should be made with full access to all relevant information and with full participation of the board as possible. Unfortunately, this did not happen, and the decision should be remanded to the board for reconsideration. Further, it should be noted that the board members themselves asked staff for additional information on several points and additional time to consider during the April 25th meeting, yet proceeded to vote that evening regardless. In addition, on the meeting of the board dated May 1st, board member Lorene Sorensen requested that the approval of the reasoned statement be postponed until such time that she and Annette Bagler-Lamadrid, with the help of city staff, could resolve technical difficulties that prevented them from accessing audio and video of the April 25th meeting. This motion failed to carry and was effectively denied. In this day and age of effective at-distance connectivity, dismissal of the potential inclusion of 2/7 of the board members appears to be an egregious act on the part of the other 5 board members. Of particular...
Excuse me one moment.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
This next paragraph you're about to read, I have reviewed the Board of Adjustment hearing. That information was not provided in the record.
Okay.
And so it's not relevant. So I'd ask that the board or the council members strike that paragraph from your appellate letter. And if you just skip over to the next one,
Oh,
you'll be
yeah,
fine.
yeah. No
Yeah,
worries.
you can.
I kind of assumed that.
We'll restart you, Mr. Davis.
Pardon me?
Go ahead, continue,
Okay,
please.
thank you. Finally, the handling of emails and communications from citizens submitted to the Board of Adjustments for consideration violated ex parte contact. Board of Adjustment Chair Joe Bozzoli stated that while he himself read the emails that were received from concerned parties after the 5-day cutoff period, he did not share them with the rest of the board. One member of the board cannot vote without information the other board members do not have. As Idaho Public Service Handbook states, when a matter is quasi-judicial in nature, such an application for rezoning or for subdivision, such an ex parte contact has the effect of compromising the decision-maker's ability to make an informed and impartial decision based upon the information contained in the formal record. According to ex parte, either all members of the board should have read the emails, or no members of the board should have read the emails. This is especially important in decisions such as these, which represent significant potential changes to the CBD. As the IPSH continues, the rule, quote, the rule prohibiting ex parte contact in quasi-judicial matters comes from the expectation that the decision makers should weigh only the evidence and issues formally before them and should not take into consideration personal matters or private influence as these taint the process of fair decision. Additionally, the public perception of that matter considered by the decision makers is being treated in a fair and even-handed manner without regard to the individual participants is important to preserving the legitimacy of the process. The overriding principle is fairness to those affected by the decision." End quote. These comments illustrate the necessity of having as fair and balanced a process as possible, which is not evidenced by the proceedings of the board regarding unequal access to emailed comments by the public. Similarly, the board's decision to recess to omit emailed comments, despite previously committing to reading them, raising questions of procedure. As this was a public meeting and not an executive session, this decision should not have been made in private. In conclusion, while the board has made a considered decision with good intentions regarding this CUP, the procedural questions brought forth regarding the overall application and the approval process and subsequent result clearly demonstrate the need for the decision to be remanded back to the board for consideration. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully, me.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis, could you give us your address? I'm sorry we missed it.
Oh, I'm sorry, 951 South Meadow Street.
Thank you.
You're welcome.